Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be visiting Ambassador Transit Lounge over here in Terminal 3. So let's see how it fares against the other lounges here in Terminal 3. Okay, so this is how the interior of the lounge looks like. It's not the biggest, and as you can see, the decor is pretty old. The carpet looks faded. Yeah, not the most modern. Here's a cold food selection. The salad bar, you get a couple of fruits, a couple of cold veggies, and some juices are available as well. For breakfast, you have cereal, you have a couple of tea selection, there's a hot and cold water dispenser, and of course a couple of coffee machines. For dessert, you have very generic ice cream, and then you have your yogurts and a couple of fruit slices. Nothing great. There's also a live cooking station. As I arrived during breakfast time, all they offered was eggs, so you can choose what ways you want your eggs to be cooked. But again, nothing very special. The same goes for the buffet offerings. You can see it's very standard, very generic sort of buffet food. You get your sausages, your ham, you get like scrambled eggs that were clearly batch made. You get your baked beans as well as your very basic roasted potatoes. And for an Asian twist, you get like pata and potato curry as well. Again, the taste was spectacular, nothing great. And this is how the dining area of the lounge looks like. So again, pretty small, but it was fairly empty, so there were enough seats for everybody involved. This is the food section. Nothing spectacular. I have to say I did feel that they were a bit understaffed. The cooking station only had one employee cooking and therefore was a bit slow. The only thing that I really enjoyed were the nacho chips with the cheese of course, and of course the little biscuits for dessert. They have a soup as well as this little big section, but again very generic offerings. I didn't really bother with them and I suggest you don't either. And like I mentioned, the alcohol selection is pretty limited. Literally in terms of quantity and quality. You have to request from them, from the staff, which is kind of annoying. I did like this concept of a live cooking station though. You can see here the staff preparing my sunny side up egg. I think that's the only sort of silver lining or saving grace in terms of the food selection over here. In the end, this was what I got for food. A glass of wine, you have your chips and nacho cheese, which I really enjoyed. The buffet food, don't bother, tasted very generic. The frozen waffle also very generic. Here the eggs are quite nice, so yeah. There's a very limited reading selection available, if you still read magazines and newspapers. Another silver lining, of this lounge is that they provide towels and they have shower facilities. So, if you're transiting and you want to take a shower, the shower room is actually pretty nice. Again, nothing much to shout about, but if you just came off like a 10-hour flight, this is a godsend. Again, if you're looking for shower facilities, I believe this is the only lounge that provides not only a shower facilities, but also like a nice fluffy towel to go along with it. Alright, so I'm done my visit to Ambassador Lounge in Terminal 3. Overall, I think that it's an underwhelming lounge. The main draw, I suppose, would be the shower rooms, which some of the other lounges like the Sets Lounge in Terminal 3 doesn't have. So if you're really in need of a shower, you can pay the Ambassador Lounge Transit a visit. But if not, if you're just here to chill before a flight, I suggest going to perhaps the Sets Premium Lounge in Terminal 3 instead. Overall, I think the food offerings of the Ambassador Transit Lounge in Terminal 3 was underwhelming. Drinks were capped at 4 drinks per person instead of free flow like the other lounges. Yeah, just an underwhelming lounge, pretty small as well, nothing really much to note. So if there's a chance, I think I'll definitely check out the other lounges. But if you really need a shower, then bo pian or no choice, I guess Ambassador Transit Lounge is the one for you. Alright, so that rounds up this quick review of Ambassador Transit Lounge in Terminal 3. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Ciao!